Hey, what is up, you guys? Good to see you as always here on the channel. In case you're new, I'm Ryan and welcome to Grassroots Gardening, where we discuss everything plants, landscaping, gardening, of course, because that's the name of the channel. But today I've got a couple cool things we're gonna do. We just walked out of the house and walked under this beautiful golden rain tree. I'm going to show you guys all about it here in just a second, but we're going to check this plant out. I'm going to tell you everything that I know about it. And then our Peggy Martin Rose has done really well since we gave it that systemic fungicide, insecticide, and fertilizer. It's done so well, in fact, we're going to prune it back a little bit. And if you hear the birds screaming, don't worry, I don't have women chained up. Those are the macaws who, anytime I grab the camera, love to squawk as loud as they can. But let's take a look at this golden rain tree real quick, guys. And that's Larry and Scarlet in there. Let me see if I can zoom in on him in there. And no, I can't because I'm filming in cinematic mode. Here we go. We'll switch it to regular video mode, and that's Larry in there hollering up a storm. And of course all the others are going to join in too because we're trying to make a video. Anyway, y'all are just going to have to excuse the squawking so that we can take a look at this beauty right here. Look at these pretty yellow flowers. So this is Colereteria paniculata, or golden rain tree. And I planted this guy, I'm gonna step back a little bit so y'all can see the full tree. I planted this guy probably 4 years ago. They're a very fast grower, probably up to 2 foot a year. They can get about 35 to 40 feet tall, although I have not seen one that big. I was reading in Dr. Durr's book this morning, just so I give you guys good facts on this tree, and he says 35 to 40. A lot of people say 25, but I really trust his information. That's in the manual, let's see, landscapes, manual woody landscape of the Southeast, I think it's what it's called. But anyway, he really knows his stuff, and I believe anything that he writes about plants. But this thing is a beautiful deciduous tree, probably good for zones 5 through 8, and just a really pretty small shade tree. Now I've got it planted out here in just this little bed that needs some mulch and needs some work, but I wanted to show you guys this tree today just because we're in late summer now, and if the wind, we do have a nice breeze this morning, but it's making it a little bit hard to film. But I wanted to show you guys just how beautiful these yellow flowers are, and pollinators are just loving it this morning. We've got bees flying all over it now. And there aren't a lot of trees that flower yellow, especially during this time of year. So this could make a really nice small shade tree near a patio or a walkway, but you do have to be a little bit careful about where you plant it because they are a little bit messy. So they do drop some branches from time to time, and then you just have kind of flower litter and a little bit of leaf litter here later on in the fall. This is, again, a deciduous tree. But they have really nice bark. It's kind of smooth, but just real interesting. Got those little raised deals on it there, but nice, smooth, really pretty bark. They say that they have weak wood, but I have not seen, even during the ice storm, I have not seen any drop leaves. So I don't know how much I believe that, but really nice little addition to this corner down here just to give us some shade. And looky here, we've got a few volunteers as this thing drops seeds back, probably last fall. They've gone down and germinated here. If you collect the seeds from this tree, you'll need to scarify them. So you soak them in a little bit of acid, or you file the seed coating down, and then they germinate readily. But the seed coat's really hard on them, but these have naturally over time just been in the ground, and that seed coat wore down, and we've got some new volunteer golden rain trees popping up. This one in particular has got some really nice branching. I think what I would recommend for you guys to do if you're thinking of growing this one in your yard is once they get on up to about 6 foot in height, if you'll just come in and do a little light pruning and just encourage that branching, then you'll have a nice little shade tree like we've got right here. But I just love this tree so much. It's got a little bit of sentimental value to it. So when I was at Augusta Technical College studying environmental horticulture, we had a little greenhouse. And I remember the teacher brought some of these seeds in to teach us about the scarification process, about breaking down that outer seed coat. And so we grew these and we had a plant sale. And of course my sweet mama showed up and bought like everything just to support the school, because we didn't have a lot of people show up to buy our plants. But anyway, she bought a couple of these golden rain trees that we had grown from seed, planted them in her yard, and now hers is bigger than mine. She's probably 25 feet, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful tree. This is where that one came from. It's a seedling from the plant that Mama bought there at that plant sale. So if you're looking for a smaller shade tree that is deciduous and has beautiful yellow flowers in the late summer, then give golden rain tree a try. They're really a tough tree once they're established. They're very drought tolerant and just a really, really easy tree to grow. And I can't remember if I showed you guys in the last video, but I thought this guy was dead. So this is in the same family as our corpse lily that we have down at the jungle greenhouse. But this is an Amorphophallus. Don't think it'll flower this year. But this thing didn't pop out of the ground until late June, early July. I thought it was a goner. But fortunately, it came back. Man, it is just a beautiful day today. I am in such a good mood out here playing in the yard. We had a cold front come through, so it's only going to be 92 today. But then this weekend, we've going back into triple digits. It's going to be hot as all get out. Right now, I'm going to grab my Felco pruners out of the truck. We're going to walk down and give old Peggy Martin pruning. And just wait till y'all see how well this rose did. If you remember, a few weeks ago, we had that black spot fungus on this Peggy Martin pretty bad. And I checked her yesterday or the day before, and she came back really, really well. There's still just a tiny bit of the fungus left, but all the new growth from that fertilizer is nice and green, but she's hanging down just a little bit too long, making you have to duck to get into the shed. So let's go prune her up. So I'd say that the fertilizer did pretty good, wouldn't y'all? I mean, look at that growth. That is a really good product. I'll tag the video that we did just in case you do have roses that have black spot, or if you just want to fertilize them and make sure that the bugs stay off of them. It's a great product. So I'll tag that video right here in case you want to check it out. But she has done really, really good, man. I mean, just look at the growth. I mean, we've had a couple of feet since we did that last video. So like I said, there is still a little bit of the fungus left. It probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and give it another treatment. So then as you go out this limb, all the way out to all the new growth, look how pretty and healthy that new growth is. No spots, no nothing, but that's a couple of feet of growth we've gotten since we gave it that fertilizer. So I've got my Felco number 2s. I'm gonna grab my wheelbarrow, click you guys to time lapse, and let's clean this thing up a little bit. Look much better, y'all. She's got her a fresh hairdo, and all I really did was just come through and trim off the mess that was making me have to duck before I went in my shed. I kind of left some sprays hanging out like this, and I just couldn't bear to cut off these beautiful flowers. So next spring, boys, she is going to put on one heck of a show. I don't know if y'all could see in the time lapse, but she wraps all the way around, and all I did was come in and put lattice up around the edge of the eave, and she just climbs right on through there. And Peggy Martin is a thornless, or mostly thornless rose. There's a few little pricks on the leaves, but I didn't need gloves to prune her up, but I think she looks much better. And then we've got plenty for the compost pile. And I think what we're going to do right now, since I can't, everybody loves this rose that comes to the nursery and I can't find it, so we've got plenty to make some new propagations, some cuttings off of. So let's go take some of this new growth and we'll make some cuttings, put them in the greenhouse, and see if we can't grow some of our own Peggy Martin roses. It's kind of acting like it might rain, you guys, but it feels fantastic out here today. And I get sidetracked so easy. I hear these tree frogs croaking down here in this trail that we're gonna plant one day, but I wanted to show it to you guys real quick just since we were standing right down here. So just to give you your bearings, there's Hydrangea Hill and the house and the shed where we just came from. And years ago, I built this trail. There's rock all up underneath here, but it's just a real shady, real wet, beautiful little trail. And I gotta make sure I don't step on any snakes while we're down here. But I think this area is gonna be really cool to do some bog type plants that we can grow and propagate for sale down at the nursery. And then a little bit further up the trail is a beautiful little creek and a bridge that we built a few years back. But I've got to get me a stick right now because the trail is also full of spiders and I can't get it to zoom in. I'm trying to get it to zoom in on this cool looking spider. He's got like spikes on his shell and he just caught that leaf hopper, and of course it's not wanting to focus, but he's such a cool looking spider. I love anything to do with nature. I know a lot of you guys are going to freak out because you don't like spiders, but I really wish I could get it to daggum focus. There we go, finally. Look at those cool spikes on his shell. He just went down there and bit that little leaf hopper. Now he's going to eat him. That's so cool. Nature is just amazing. Come on, camera. There we go. How cool is that shell though, man? But anyway, he was almost on my forehead, so we got to get us a stick so we can clear the path. Here we go. This should do it. And you just kind of have to do like this in front of you because there was another spider web. This little alleyway is a great little spot for them to set up their little ambush points at nighttime, but I'm trying to talk to you guys right now and watch the ground because, whoa, and and also watch for spiders, because look at that big dude right there. It's a riding spider. No, actually I think that's a golden, what is it, golden orb spider. Yeah, we almost took him to the face as well. So gotta watch the ground for snakes, and I'm gonna duck under that spider web. And then we gotta watch the trail for spiders. So if you don't like spiders or snakes, then this trail is not for you. Here we go. Finally made it to the little bridge. It's just for golf carts and bicycles, but yeah, it's really nice little spring that feeds the pond. And we're gonna do some planting down here as well. I remember somewhere, oh, here it is. I planted some coffee cups, colocasia, down here. Yeah, and it made it. Just liking it down here in this little shady, cool spot. It feels amazing down here. But we've got the potential really to do some amazing plantings all down through this creek going down to the pond. So just item 1,372 on my to-do list. I am so ADHD, you guys. I mean, we go from the golden rain tree to pruning a rose. Now we're way down here in the woods, tromping through the mud, so I show you the creek. And that's just me. Welcome to my life. I can't focus for nothing. I see something cool, whether it be a spider or whatever, and then I say, hey, let's go down that trail. And then an hour later, I'm like, what was it that I was even doing? Gotta go to that spider again. But wouldn't this just be the prettiest place to drive a golf cart through? I think what we're gonna do is put the mulching head on the skid steer and come down in here and just clean all this cane up. And man, deer will be an issue for us, but just the shady, damp, dark, rich soil down through here, I think we could have an amazing little botanical trail, and we will one day. One day we shall have it, guys. It's just gonna take time, but that's another reason too. If you find any value in this channel, or you want to follow along with all of our crazy adventures and these harebrained plans that I'm gonna try to make happen, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button down there, as well as the little notifications bell, and that'll let you know when we put out a new video. I've been trying real hard to at least have one coming every 3 days. I think YouTube rewards productivity, and their algorithm recognizes when you put out more videos. So I'm going to try, if time will allow, to do even more than that. Try to do one every other day. But speaking of that, we've got over 8,000 subs now, and I can't thank y'all enough. I really appreciate y'all clicking that button down there and all the comments you drop all the time. It's just really nice, and I'm having a great time. That was one of my best buds. That's Luis, man. I don't know what I'd do without that guy. And he has the best attitude out of anybody that I know. He works 6 days a week, and he's always smiling, and he's just happy all the time. And he and I get along so well because he loves the bees. You know, we've been keeping bees for the past few years. He loves the plants, he loves learning about them, and he just loves everything outdoors and nature just like I do. So he really is he's a gift for sure in many different aspects. I couldn't do it without him. Larry, what's up, buddy? I'm gonna give you another opportunity to talk to us. Now yesterday when I was right outside the greenhouse, it was the evening time, I heard him say, hey Larry. But as you guys well know if you watch the channel, the birds just won't talk anytime the camera is on. They frustrate me so bad. But nonetheless, let's take a look. Since we're gonna do a little propagating, let's take a look at our hydrangeas that we did not too long ago. I've been checking on them every couple of days, just making sure the soil is staying moist. Let's see, we did on 7/30, and today is the 23rd, so getting close to a month. Oh, 2 of them look really good. This guy, I think we're gonna go ahead, yeah, see, he's rotted. We're gonna go ahead and take him out. But see, that's definitely how black that is. That's shot. However, look at the new growth coming out of that guy. That is promising, and I'm gonna give him a gentle tug, and I do feel some roots, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it for learning purposes. And although I don't think I felt actual roots, he is definitely starting to root. All right, had to put y'all on the tripod for a second because I couldn't focus in good, but you see all of that callousing, that white, and also just the area that it's swelling up right there. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then we see the new growth points right there. Won't be too much longer, and this guy will be putting out roots. So we're just going to stick him right back down in there ever so gently, and I'm going to leave the lid closed on him for probably another 2 to 3 weeks if I can get it. It's really hard to do the camera, and I need 3 hands, y'all. But anyway, we're going to leave him for a few more weeks like that, and then we can leave the lid open once he does get roots and watering regularly, and we should have us a whole nother hydrangea plant or 2. All right, quit getting sidetracked, Ryan. We're going to take some of our Happy Frog potting soil. We're just going to use this little 6-inch plastic container for these Peggy Martin Rose cuttings. And we're just going to fill it almost all the way up with soil. And I've taken some of the new growth off of the Peggy Martin Rose. See how healthy that is? The leaves are just super, super green. And then I'm going to take my Felcos, come in here, and let's get about a 6-inch cutting. I'm just going to strip the majority of the leaves off because, like in the hydrangea video I told you guys, we're just going to lose moisture out of those leaves. We only need minimal leaves in order for this thing to root. And then we're going to cut it, as always, on a real big diagonal or extreme diagonal. The most angle that you can get to, there we go, to expose the cambium layer, which is the outer ring that you can kind of see there. Then we're just going to take some of our rooting hormone right here, and I'll put a link to all this stuff in the description below if you want to try this. It's super easy. We're just going to coat him real well and then just push him right down into the soil about 2 inches or so. And if you have the material, which we do, we had plenty of vegetative material to take these cuttings, go ahead and stick a bunch. Stick more. If you want 2 to 3 rose plants, go ahead and just stick as many as you can fit in your container, because not all of them are going to successfully root, just as you saw with our hydrangea over there. Just dip him in the rooting powder and then shove him right on down in the soil. All right, so we've got us a couple, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Peggy Martin Rose cuttings, and then I just found a stick just laying on the floor, and that's going to be the tent or humidity dome or Ziploc bag. Oh man, it's just a little bit too long. I got to cut just an inch or so off of it. And so this is going to keep the humidity super high for these cuttings, because obviously they have no roots and we don't want them drying out. So we're going to put it just like that, keep it in a shady spot over there by the hydrangeas, and hopefully in a few months we will have us some brand new Peggy Martin Roses that we can give away, plant in the yard or whatever. Super, super easy. Well guys, I had a blast hanging out with y'all, as I always do. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and remember, the more you know, the more you grow. See you on the next video. Hope everybody has a fantastic day.